Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Don Spillane with us, and Don has come clear from Scotland to talk to us today via Huntington Beach and a few other places. So Don, it's great to have you. I just want to hear how you got from Scotland Yard to Huntington Beach to become a commercial real estate agent.
Well, it's quite a long story.
We'll do what we can here.
Well, Scotland Yard is not in Scotland actually. It's in London, and I worked the East End of London, which was, I guess, comparable to the Bronx. So it's a pretty rough area, and I was there at a time where there were some notorious gangsters, and was involved in serious arrests. My last arrest was a hitman. So I was doing that for about 8 years and amassed some wonderful experiences. And I was in uniform to start with, and then became a detective. But the whole atmosphere changed at Scotland Yard in about 92, 93. And I decided to leave. And that took me into the newspaper business, into advertising. I was very successful and came across here to North America to speak at a conference, and then was offered jobs and ended up at the Los Angeles Herald Examiner, now defunct. And I was fired from that job, actually. It's amazing how life takes these twists. So after being fired, I decided to get into real estate, and I knew I didn't want to sell houses. I knew I was interested in the commercial arena. So I located a company that did excellent training. I mean, excellent training. And then stayed with that for 10 years. And then I was offered the opportunity to be a partner in a wealth management business. And that's where I ended up. And I'm basically retired now and writing about my experiences with the yard.
And so you've got a book there behind you. Tell us about the book.
Well, it's called Hustling the Mob. There's a thread of truth that runs all the way through it. It involves a guy and a gal. He is an expert hacker, a computer hacker. She is an expert safecracker. And they're tasked by a Middle Eastern spy agency to bring down an arms transaction bankrolled by a Cayman Island bank. And what we find out is the Cayman Island bank is mostly financed by the mafia. And so they end up stealing a bunch of money, going on the run, and it all ends up in Zurich and Paris, and hopefully happily ever after.
So has Hollywood come calling yet for the movie rights?
Yeah, I've got a couple of leads in that direction. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. So
when you're self-published, you understand that making money off of the book is very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I had it expertly produced. And it costs a lot of money to do that. So I've got an investment in this. Whether I get that investment back or not, I don't know. And this would definitely help.
All right, we're going to promote this book. So all of you listening, please go out and buy Hustling the Mob. That would be a great book to have. And we'll see it on screen hopefully soon.
It's on Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay.
90% of book sales these days are on Amazon.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, we self-published a book called Romancing the Room about public speaking. And so I know the fun and intrigue of self-publishing and publishing a book and so forth.
Yes, it's not easy. I chose not to do it myself. And I just wrote the book, and had several people help me with the design of the book, and also the copywriting and all the rest of it. I had that all done.
So are you on audio also?
No, no, excuse me.
Not yet. Okay. Not yet.
No,
Soon to be.
I'm not on audio. I've been in tentative negotiations for that.
Yeah. No, it's that's another expense, so to speak, if you want to go to audio. We went to audio and wasn't horribly expensive, but we had a very good reader do our audio version, which was fun. So you can find Romance in the Room on audio or hard copy, whichever.
Well, I think what you find out is that you really, I mean, everyone says, well, you've got an English accent, so you'd be great at it. But the fact is, you really have to have an actor, you know,
Yeah.
do the job.
Maybe Meryl Streep will read it for you.
I don't care who reads it.
She actually has read several books. Nathan Hawk, and anyway, he has written or read several books also. But anyway, long story short, you're absolutely right. You've got to have a good actor do the part of reading the book because
No
they can
question.
bring it to life, particularly a book like yours. So tell me a little bit. You were in the LA commercial real estate market for a number of years. What did you find out in those days?
Well, it was an interesting time because it was a time where there was fast growth and then a fast descent in the market.
Oh,
So I sold apartment buildings, shopping centres, office buildings, and industrial, and I did at least one of each. Mainly apartment buildings, I would say. Um, And what I found out was I was really good at spending money and not so good at saving it. So, um,
I think there's a few of us out there in that same category. So yeah.
what happened? I decided that the income, although I made a good income, it wasn't going where I wanted, and then I was offered um, a partnership by someone who I was actually owned some apartment buildings with,
Hmm.
to go in a wealth management business.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So, what would you say in both the wealth management and commercial real estate area? What do you think the best tip that you could pass on to somebody to try and develop or work their market, so to speak?
Well, I think basically what I've seen with businesses generally, not just commercial real estate, or because I've worked with a number of businesses,
Hmm.
and it's having a succession plan.
Oh, interesting.
And 60% of business owners do not have a succession plan.
Wow,
And,
that's a
it,
lot.
and then another 25 or 30% have a succession plan, but it's not written.
Oh, oh,
So it's like, well, okay, well, I'm just going to pass it along to so and so. I've got that covered. It doesn't work like that. If I could say one thing, while you build wealth, you must protect that wealth. And
hmm.
that's one thing, one lesson I learned. Um, you, and it's really not just about like not having a succession plan, for instance. If you don't have a succession plan and you want to sell your business, you lose value because the guy coming in realizes there's no succession, so he looks at you slightly differently.
Oh, interesting. It devalues the whole business if you don't have a continuation involved.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. It's like
Well,
a long-term lease is better than a short-term lease.
Well, that depends on circumstances, doesn't
Oh,
it?
okay, that's true. Very good. Good answer.
Well, I found that having a buy-sell agreement between partners and having a succession agreement between partners is vital for a business. Absolutely vital. Even if you're in the real estate business with a partner agent, you've got to know what's going to happen because there's always the unexpected event, and the unexpected event can be not necessarily an accident. It's probably going to be an illness. You have statistically, you have a bigger chance of being off work sick for 2 years through age 25 to 65 than you do of dying.
Oh, wow.
So, and think about that. If you're a business owner, what happens when you get sick and can't work?
Yeah, yeah, you're screwed if it's your own business.
So you have to have a plan.
Yeah, no, that's excellent advice. That's amazing advice.
And it's not just um, most people think about injury,
Mm,
but they don't think about accidents, and they don't think about illnesses so much. And we're in a society today where every day you pick up the paper, there's something about cancer this, cancer that, colon cancer going up amongst young people, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're not working, you're not making any money. So you have to have a plan for what to do if you can't work.
absolutely. So just for fun,
Yeah.
uh, what would be your favorite food or sandwich you'd love to have?
I really had a nice Italian meal just yesterday.
Oh, all right.
Very
In
nice.
Huntington Beach, someplace in Huntington Beach?
Yes, I did. The Mona Lisa.
Oh, the Mona Lisa. All right.
Yeah.
So just again for fun, if you had your choice of someone alive or dead to sit at the Mona Lisa and have lunch with, who might that be?
Winston Churchill.
Oh, of course. Oh, have you read Pamela Harriman's autobiography or biography?
I have not.
Oh, well, you ought to put that one on your list. It's a
I will.
fantastic read. Yeah. So, yeah, as you may recall, Winston's son married Harriman, and that was her first marriage before she met Harriman. But anyway, a fantastic story about all sorts of different things.
Well,
Kingmaker,
he
it's
was a
called.
wonderful statesman.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Well, we talk about Winston all the time. The Winston Churchill method of reading a speech is very famous in our public speaking class, where you look down, you look at the words, and then you look up and speak the words, and that all kind of came from the method that Winston Churchill used
He
for.
actually had a lisp.
Oh, oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. Yeah, I guess that now that you say that, it makes sense because his speaking style, yeah, okay. Unlike the king, who had the problem with speaking altogether.
With a stammer, yes.
Yeah, but any rate, that's fantastic. Well, where would people get a hold of you, Don?
Well, I've got a good webpage at don@donspillane.com where you'll be able to get a copy of this video, plus other videos and interviews that I've done. Gives a little bit of background to the book. Actually, you'll see a photograph of me at detective training school,
Oh,
um, amongst other things. So a lot of information that you can find out about me and the book itself. Don
that's
at donspillane.com.
all right. So donspillane.com is the website, and if you want to email Don, you go to don@donspillane.com.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.